A stolen Dodge Challenger, a high-speed chase, a helicopter overhead. Watch as a reckless thief tries to outrun the law, but ends up crashing spectacularly live on TV. You won't believe how it all ends. Before we continue, please subscribe to the channel and tell us where you are listening. Your support means everything. Ryan Mitchell was just finishing his shift at work, eager to relax after a long day. His prized possession, a sleek black Dodge Challenger, sat proudly in his driveway. He'd worked tirelessly for years to afford the car, and every time he sat behind the wheel, it felt like a reward for all his effort. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting golden hues over the suburban neighborhood, Ryan parked the car and went inside, unaware of the storm that was about to hit. Across the street, in a grand home surrounded by lush green lawns, lived Karen Thompson. She was notorious in the neighborhood for being overbearing, controlling, and constantly creating drama over petty matters. Her son, Tyler, was no different. Though he was in his early 20s, he was known for causing trouble and making reckless decisions. That night, Tyler was lurking in the shadows, waiting for his chance. He had been eyeing Ryan's Dodge Challenger for weeks, and tonight, he saw his opportunity. As Ryan relaxed in his kitchen, sipping a drink, a sudden noise outside caught his attention. The roar of an engine echoed through the quiet street, quickly followed by the screech of tires. His heart skipped a beat. He ran to the window just in time to see his Challenger speeding down the road, Tyler at the wheel. Panic set in as Ryan realized what had just happened. His car was being stolen. Without a second thought, Ryan grabbed his keys, bolted out the door, and jumped into his own car. His mind raced as he dialed 911, his voice shaky with urgency. "It's my Dodge Challenger. Someone's stolen it, and they're speeding away." The dispatcher assured him that help was on the way, but Ryan couldn't just sit back and wait. He had to do something. With his foot pressing the gas, he chased after Tyler, his car now a pursuit vehicle in a race against time. Tyler, meanwhile, was zooming down the empty streets, adrenaline pumping through his veins as he weaved in and out of traffic. The thrill of the stolen car, combined with the freedom of the night, made him reckless. As the sirens grew louder behind him, he pushed the Challenger even harder, determined to outrun the police. Ryan wasn't far behind, his own pursuit adding to the chaos of the high-speed chase. Suddenly, Ryan noticed the unmistakable sound of a helicopter. Looking up, he saw the bright spotlight sweeping over the streets. News stations had caught wind of the pursuit, and the live broadcast began following the stolen Challenger as it tore through the neighborhood. Ryan's stomach churned as he realized the situation was no longer just about a stolen car. It had become a spectacle for everyone to see. Tyler, with the helicopter hovering above him, felt the pressure mounting. He could hear the cops on his tail, and the flashing lights from the police cars made him feel cornered. His only option was to keep going, but each sharp turn, each dangerous maneuver, only made his chances of escape slimmer. He knew the game was nearly over, but he wasn't ready to give up just yet. He slammed the gas pedal, trying to squeeze between two patrol cars in an attempt to break free, but luck wasn't on his side. In a move that was both desperate and foolish, Tyler miscalculated and slammed into one of the police cars. The impact sent both vehicles spinning out of control, and the Challenger came to an abrupt stop, its engine sputtering as smoke rose from the hood. The police were on him in an instant, their cars surrounding him as officers rushed out, weapons drawn. Tyler had nowhere to go. Ryan pulled up just as the chaos unfolded. His heart raced as he saw Tyler, now trapped in the stolen car, surrounded by cops. The officers moved quickly, forcing Tyler to the ground and handcuffing him. Tyler, his face pale with fear, shouted, "I didn't mean to do it." But his words were drowned out by the sound of sirens and the shouting of the officers. It was over. The escape had ended in failure. As Ryan watched from his car, the reality of the situation began to sink in. His car was back in his possession, but the whole ordeal had left him shaken. Tyler was being arrested, his future now uncertain. Ryan couldn't help but feel a mix of relief and anger. His prized car was safe, but the stress of the chase, the fear that something could have gone wrong, lingered in his mind. It didn't take long for Karen, Tyler's mother, to show up at the scene. She had been watching the chase unfold on live television and had rushed to the location when she saw her son being apprehended. When she arrived, she pushed her way through the crowd of onlookers and officers, her voice rising in anger as she shouted, "This isn't right. He's a good boy. You're making a mistake." Her protests were ignored as the officers continued their work, guiding Tyler toward the squad car. Karen's frantic pleas only highlighted the reality of the situation. Her son's reckless actions had led him to this point, and no amount of denial could change that. The days following the incident were filled with tension and media attention. News outlets had broadcasted the high-speed chase and the helicopter footage to millions, turning Tyler's criminal act into a public spectacle. Ryan, though glad to have his car back, couldn't help but feel uneasy about how things had unfolded. He had been living in a quiet neighborhood, and suddenly, his life was thrust into the public eye. He couldn't escape the images of the chase, replayed over and over on the news. People in the neighborhood whispered about what had happened, some expressing sympathy for Tyler's situation, while others felt disgusted by his actions. Tyler's arrest and the subsequent court case became the talk of the town. The charges piled up: grand theft auto, reckless driving, and evading the police. Tyler's defense, however, was centered on his fear and the pressures he faced. His mother, still in denial, tried to make excuses for his behavior, claiming that he had been misunderstood, that it wasn't his fault. But the evidence was clear, and the judge handed down a sentence that would change Tyler's life forever: juvenile detention. As for Ryan, he took a few days off work to process the entire ordeal. Though his car was returned to him, the emotional toll was significant. The chase, the threat to his property, the police presence, it all weighed heavily on him. He had learned something valuable that night, though. No material possession was worth risking his life or anyone else's over. The sense of safety he once felt in his neighborhood had been shattered, and it would take time to feel normal again. Despite everything, Ryan moved forward. He spent time with family and friends, focused on the things that truly mattered, and tried to leave the past behind him. But every now and then, when he started his Dodge Challenger and heard its engine roar to life, he couldn't help but remember the day it was stolen, the chaos that followed, and how, in the end, justice had been served. Tyler, on the other hand, was left to reflect on his actions from behind bars. The consequences of his choices were now inescapable, and Karen, despite her denials, was left with the hard truth that her son's reckless behavior had led to his downfall. It was a day that changed everything, a day when a stolen car, a high-speed chase, and a helicopter hovering overhead left an indelible mark on the lives of everyone involved.